Okay, let's start. So I'm going to read this article. Microsoft reports are exposing AI's real cost problem. Using the tech is more expensive than paying human employees. Okay, I found this article in this subreddit, and we will first read the article and then we will go back to Reddit and read the comments, because comments are always the best thing about Reddit, right? So let's start. Firms today are pushing employees to use as much AI as possible to squeeze out the technology's productivity gains. But that pressure is leading to cracks, and those cracks may be irreparable. Okay. Uh, but that pressure is leading to cracks, or that pressure is just leading to more money spending. Because what does crack even means in and like it is very tough to measure, but money is very easy to measure. So when they are saying that, but the pressure is leading to cracks, I think they mean they have to spend more and they are having less profits. So let's read more. Microsoft has reportedly begun cancelling most of its direct Cloud Code licenses. According to The Verge, instead moving engineers towards using GitHub Copilot CLI. Okay. That comes just 6 months after the firm first opened up access to Cloud Code. Okay. Encouraging thousands of its developers, project managers, designers, and other employees to experiment with coding. The tech became popular fast, perhaps too popular. The scale at which employees use it is now prompting the firm to reverse course on a tool its own engineers had come to rely on. Cancelling Cloud Code licenses won't affect Microsoft's Foundry deal, which includes investing up to $5 billion in Anthropic and giving Foundry customer access to Cloud Code models, as well as Anthropic's $30 billion commitment to purchase Azure compute capacity, according to The Verge. The reports may throw cold water on the bets tech biggest firm have placed on the technology. Okay, I don't agree with this statement that the report may throw cold water on the bet tech's biggest firm have placed on the technology, because okay, so the reading mode is giving me troubles, because for a simple reason, they are not moving from Cloud Code. So see at the left of the screen, okay, don't look at the reading mode for a while. So because they are moving away from Cloud Code because of cost and not because of it is not effective, or it is not effective at that cost. I personally feel AI coding is not yet there. You need coders to basically, it is not as good as it was promised, and it is not as cheap as it was promised. But I still don't completely understand, because Microsoft is not a company which doesn't have a lot of money. They have a lot of money, their cloud business is doing very good. So maybe it is just more of they want to train their Copilot. I mean, they want people to use their Copilot more, and even if their employees are not using it, then who else is going to use it? I want to take 2 minutes and talk about the Cursor. I remember when the Cursor came out, they forked the VS Code and then they implemented their tool on top of it. And I just want to say that I think the Cursor team was very creative in doing that. And they implemented this AI coding very well, which, I mean, Microsoft wasn't able to do. Cursor did a very good job in implementing that tool, and they went ahead. Although the model was, I mean, it was sort of their idea, if I may say so. Copilot idea was sort of their idea initially, that autocomplete thing. But then Cursor did way more than that. Suddenly, in very less time, lot of people, lot of companies adopted Cursor. Then yes, now we have more tools. We have tools by Anthropic, we have tools by OpenAI, we have Google, Gemini. All these companies have this kind of a tool that you can use, and it was, I think, bound to happen because Cursor was the only success that AI delivered. That because we have lot of open source code, this technology itself is coming from the tech companies, so to implement encoding for them is easier than to maybe go in some other field and do it. But remember, Satya Nadella also said that if this technology don't go out of the tech and solve the real other problems, it will sort of become a bubble. right? It will sort of be a tech bubble. So there are multiple things here. While some cling to the promise of an AI renaissance or revolution, the cost of adoption is proving a stubborn bottleneck. AI is not cheap. These developments also suggest that the economics of replacing or augmenting human labor with AI may be more complicated than some early forecasts originally implied. That echoes what Brian Catanzaro, vice president of applied deep learning at NVIDIA, recently said in an interview with Axios. For my team, the cost of compute is far beyond the cost of the employees, he said. Okay, yes, it was a very bold statement by him. Anthropic didn't immediately respond to Fortune's request for commitment. Microsoft didn't provide a comment. Okay, let's see the heading. Exposing AI. I find it hard to believe that Microsoft having issues with cost, because they are not startup. They are a good company with good cash in their banks. So yes, if you waste it at some point, all the cash will go away. And they have invested a lot of money in OpenAI and other companies. But still, I think they can afford the Claude plan for their employees. It's very hard for me to accept this argument that they are doing just because of a cost, that they want to save some money. So they are just, not going to do it anymore. So I don't feel very confident in reading this article. I don't think that Microsoft will go and say, we are canceling employees Claude access just because it is costing them more. Maybe I think it is more about they are not getting as much benefit of these models, and maybe they had benchmarked Claude Code with the GitHub Copilot or other tools, and they saw almost all the tools are producing almost same output, So maybe one tool is not better than another by a lot. An emerging AI paradox: cheaper tokens, bigger bills. Okay. Uber and Microsoft aren't the only firms pushing employees to use as much AI as possible. Like at Uber, a Meta employee crafted a leaderboard fitting named Claudenomics after Anthropic AI model to track which workers are using the most AI. Amazon is pushing its employees to Token Max. I think he wants to say Token Max. Or to use as many AI tokens as possible, the basic building blocks of AI compute. Okay, first of all, I think all this article is not organized very well, in my opinion, because they have not given any reason why it is happening. They have reported that Microsoft is doing that, which is fine, but why it is doing that is unclear. Okay, let's read more. Uber and Microsoft aren't the only firms pushing employees to use. Now, look, here is the thing. Here you are saying that they have cancelled the subscription, and here you are saying that they are pushing employees to use as much AI as possible. So which one do you want to? And yes, both the things can be possible. They just cancelled the Claude and they told to use GitHub Copilot and use it as much as possible. Maybe that's the case, but then it is not written in this article. It is not mentioned that this is the case. It is my guesswork. It is not what is written. But with a token-based pricing system, the work gets more expensive with more use and better efficiency. Goldman Sachs recently forecasted that agents AI could drive a 24-fold increase in token consumption by 2030 as consumers and enterprises adopt AI agents, reaching a staggering 120 quadrillion tokens per month. As business turns to AI agents to boost productivity, aggregate costs could rise sharply even if the price of each token falls. I don't even know what boost productivity means. What these two words even mean? Boost productivity. What do you mean by that? So are you saying the employees will write more code? Are you saying that we are going to deliver more features to the user? Or are you saying that no, it is never it's not like these firms have started making excellent products. It has not happened like that. Making something is very hard, it's very thoughtful, it's very creative. You have to put efforts in little things to make something work well. But as consumption increases, the cost of And all this is a sort of a token consumption by 20 consumer increase in token consumption. Individual tokens will go down. I really, it's very hard to predict at this point, because first of all, why should I believe any of these companies? They were saying that there will be like every job will be lost due to AI. Every job. They were saying a lot of weird things. They still time to time say a lot of very weird things that doesn't make any sense to anybody. But as consumption increases, the cost of individual AI token is expected to fall sharply. A recent report from research firm Gartner found that by 2030, inference on a 1 trillion parameter LLM, in simple terms, a highly sophisticated AI model, will cost AI firms nearly 90% less than it did in 2025. Okay, so here is the thing. Tell me the number. Tell me how much it costs now. Tell me how much it cost now, and then tell me how much it will cost. When you write something like will cost AI firms nearly 90% less than what it did, it feels like this article maybe is written in rush. Maybe it is just written for highlights. So, okay, like Microsoft did something and let's relate this to this. I mean, even so, Gartner predicted that cheaper tokens won't translate to cheaper enterprise AI because agentic models require far more tokens per task than standard models. Increased consumption can outpace falling unit costs, and AI providers won't fully pass through lower costs to consumers. In turn, inference costs are likely to push higher. What this paragraph want to say? Is it going to decrease? Is it going to increase? What is going to happen? Chief Product Officer CPO should not confuse the deflation of commodity tokens with the democratization of frontier reasoning. Gartner Senior Director Alicia Wilhelm warned the statement. Maybe. That really may complicate the grand plans some firms have for deploying AI agents. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang recently said he thinks 100 AI agents will one day work alongside every employee at his company. Hong is part of broader wave of CEOs touting an agentic future in which digital workers operate across the enterprise. But if token consumption rise faster than unit cost fall, that future could come with a much heavier bill than executive expected. Let's see at the real article, not in the reading mode. I'm highlighting my article to make some points basically. Now this point I completely expect them to do, because they have their own tool. I think they should use it. I think they should make it better. I think they should go ahead and compete with Claude Code and compete with other tools. I don't understand why they are not doing that. I don't really get it. But anyways, that comes just 6 months after the firm first opened the access to Claude Code. But I don't see what does it has to do that, I don't think that this article heading, which is AI's real cost problem, using the tech is more expensive than paying human employees. So you don't think that using a Claude Code doesn't cost them? It costs them. It runs, maybe it costs them maybe a little bit more. Who knows? Because they use the machine, they use the tokens. GitHub Copilot is also going to cost them money. That comes just 6 months after the firm first opened up access to Claude Code. Okay, so they continue their commitment to Anthropic and emerging AI paradox: cheaper tokens, bigger bills. I do think yes, this is true that bills are going to be bigger and bigger because the promise is bigger and bigger. Because it is said that with AI you can change the I don't know, maybe you can go and remember that CEOs promised that AI can solve climate change. Also remember that there was a company called Facebook which rebranded their whole company around a concept called Metaverse that they don't even have it now. They don't have it. It failed completely. So remember that it doesn't always happen what they plan. With AI, of course, it is different. AI has done lot better than Metaverse, lot better. But I'm just saying that everything they say doesn't necessarily happens. So, just keep in mind when you are reading all this, when you are listening to all this, and also keep in mind that they want to sell you something. There is always, so why would okay, so tell me one thing. Have you ever seen any item cost go down ever? Have you ever seen like this thing costed, like before some $100 and now it is costing $50? There is always some inflation in price every year. And like individual components, yes, they go down, their cost go down. But overall product cost probably doesn't go down. So I don't think the subscription, the Claude subscription or OpenAI subscription that right now costs $20 will cost $10 after 1 year, or in 2030 it will cost, less than what it cost in 2026 right now. I don't think so that is going to happen. I think those costs will only go up. And right now, a lot of this is also heavily subsidized by big venture capitalists because they want to grab the market. They want to, they don't want to lose the market share. So I think with time, this cost will actually go up. It will never come down. I don't think so it will be cheaper in future. And remember, if the inference, for example, is cheaper, or training a model is maybe cheaper, then it gets cheaper. Let's assume they want to keep the profits, right? That's why they are doing all this, to keep the profit. This is not a charity. These are not NGOs. They are for-profit companies and they are working to make profit. So if the training a model is cheaper, they will have more profit, but they will not reduce the prices of their subscriptions. This is what my assumption is, but it is assumption based on all the things that have happened in the past in this business world. So I don't think so these prices will go down. They will only go up with time. Now let us jump into the Reddit comments and see what people are saying about this. I guess they need to fire more employees to help cover their losses, right? Yeah. This person, CEOs. Oh my god. Yep. Here is the thing. If they admit AI was not the right choice, was insufficient and scale back the use of it, that means they made a mistake and error. Yes. Stock goes down, shareholders are mad to the foolish CEO that did the wrong thing and may even oust them. I don't think so. I don't think so that CEO will go out by any means, But if they lay people off and double down, even knowing it is not correct to do so, brilliant. I don't think so. Nobody is telling them they are visionary. A visionary is slimming the company down and making it sleeker, more agile. Okay. I don't think so that anyone is saying this except maybe the person who have invested in these companies. Leveraging technology to springboard forward into the future. One, we aren't reliant on stupid, smelly humans with their families and sick days. Got it? Okay. This person is very angry for whatever reason. And I think he has good reasons to be angry about it. This AI talk from last 3-4 years have pissed people off in a way that nothing has done. I mean, this is amazing how these CEOs were able to do that. How these tech companies were able to piss people so much off. This is like a world class. I mean, this is a topic to research about. This was obviously fake, but not by much. Okay, this really is the C-level mindset. If I fix the problem that I caused, I'm admitting that it is a problem. And that is the one thing that shareholders cannot forgive, making stocks go down. It's crazy how making your company smaller and unable to compete with future rivals who are going to arise when you fire so much talent naturally is seen as positive. Okay. First of all, I don't think so this is true at all. I think that it's not like if your company has more people, it will have more ideas. That's not true at all. If your company has more people, it can build better products. I don't think so it is true at all. Microsoft is not able to build their own good models. And so it is not true. They were not able to do it actually. Despite having a lot of workforce. They had to invest in the company which is called OpenAI, which is now a closed AI. Because Microsoft and open source has no relation with each other. But I digress. Let me get back to the topic. It's honestly kind of nice to see that humans can really understand that the labor is undervalued and put a $sign on it. Okay. It's the opposite here, isn't it? Using AI coding assistant end up using way more dollar than people. Okay, yeah, I mean, this is what this article is saying, but in the article itself, nowhere it is mentioned properly that why actually they stopped using Claude Code. For example, now I can go back and read the Verge report, but then why I'm reading this article? So for now we stick to this. For example, I can easily use a gajillion tokens work to wipe code the boilerplate doc string and examples around the package I'm working on. Yeah, most of these isn't necessary since this was intended to be a quick prototype, but when management expects so much bells and whistles right on the start, who needs 90% test code coverage on a POC? People are incentivized to just... Code logic takes me just 5 hours of my own time in my own code writing. The only thing saving here is time, since adding the bells and whistles would have took me additional hours of admitting unnecessary work. Yes, of course the root problem is management expecting bullshit, but that's the norm when AI is being pushed down our throats. Yes, I think first of all, managers are not even understanding what is happening. I mean, if they think that the AI is so good, maybe they should assign themselves as a developer on one of their projects and just do it. Just do it on your own and just try it out. I mean, I am sure these management, whatever this management is, have not written code in a long time. So they don't even know. They are not in touch. Management have always expected bullshit. Difference is now they can get it. Wow, awesome. Awesome, man. This person is amazing. Whoever this person is, let me just highlight this. Management have always expected bullshit. Difference is now they can get it. That's the biggest problem here. I think in the past people might humor management a bit, but eventually someone sits them down to explain why their ideas are moronic, can't work, and would be terrible if they did. With AI, the AI just tells them it's a great idea and people start working at it with AI because the AI already gave them their much desired positive reinforcement. Now it's way harder to convince them that their cat food resupply tracking app doesn't need a friend function or whatever. Now it's a way harder to convince them that their cat food resupply tracking app doesn't need. First of all, in a company which has built cat food resupply tracking app, does that company even have a management? I mean, how many people they need for this? Okay, maybe okay, I'm not so sure about how this works, but do they need a lot of management? Maybe. So from here, I remember the scene from The Office, the US edition, in which Ryan created the website to sell paper. And in that website, he had a chat function. You remember? And then it went very wrong. And that chat function, they get a lot of scams. And eventually the website had to be shut down. So, I remembered just now that the website was not shut down because of that friend function, although it was hilarious. And there is a whole one scene about it. But it was shut down, I think, because he had double recorded the sales, once through Office and once through website. And then because, basically he committed fraud. And then he was arrested. So it was a fun show, so you can go and watch that show. It is a huge problem with people eager to... Let's read it more. It is a huge problem with people eager to blindly believe positive reinforcements or those who don't recognize that they are way out of their depth. Okay. IMO. If you are unwilling or unable to question the results you are getting back, you should absolutely not be using it. Okay. It doesn't help that almost every LLM is geared towards psychophancy or affirmation. You have to actually go into the rulers and modify it in order to stop it, and even then it slips through. You have to actually go into the rulers and modify it in order to stop it, and even then it still slips through. Most people aren't going in and modifying their rule sets. And my goodness, are they just so eager to please when they are left at default? Yes, this is whatever you tell these models, they will always have some positive, even though you have done most terrible things. Even though you are completely dead wrong and you need someone at that point to tell you are dead wrong, but the LLM model will give you something that you can be proud of, that what you have done. This is so amazing. Imagine how many arrogant managers are out there driving their teams mad. Imagine how many arrogant managers are out there driving their teams mad, motivated and inspired to pursue fruitless nonsense empowered by LLMs. They never bother to modify away from giving poor advice and encouraging utter garbage. Brave new world. That's true, but I don't think so. There is a way that you can stop LLM doing that. You can't say them stop doing this, and you can prompt them, and the one response will be like the way you prompt it. But I think they are maybe designed in a way that it is always going to boost your ego, if I can use that phrase. AI became the coworker that never says this is terrible idea, and honestly that's more dangerous than people realize. That's very honest. I completely this comment won my heart. AI became the coworker that never says this is terrible idea, and honestly that's why more dangerous than people realize. Very well said. Very, very well said. I think this much comments. Okay, let's read this comment. And in 3 to 5 years, these companies will have racked their code bases to a point none can understand or maintain it anymore, if not sooner. It is probably going to happen. This is probably going to happen. Talented programmers will jump ship because it's all turned into AI goo, and the managers that caused this will go on to the other companies to do it there too, because the short-term numbers looked amazing. Oh cool, we are so back to the low-code revolution. I remember when that was going to take my job as well. Okay. Let's be honest that it isn't immediate management. It is the upper management that wants it all. I don't agree with this. I think your middle management is the most. Upper management wants it. Yes, they definitely want it. But your immediate management is not. It's usually they want to impress upper management. So usually they will take this idea and they will go to the upper management, and they know very well what this upper management want to hear. And they will exactly tell them that, and then upper management will feel good. Your immediate management will also feel good, and both will be happy. One delusion confirms the another delusion, and you are screwed. So this happens a lot. Doing a project right now where all I was doing was adding some logos at the story, but they wanted 100% code coverage for my logos, as I had to create tests to make sure my logs were called. Oh my god. I spent more money doing that than saying that there are logs and the testing suite shouldn't care about it, because it won't change the actual logic. I spent more money doing that. Okay, I don't get this. Okay, I don't get the last part. I spent more money doing that. I think he means he spent more, he or she, or whatever, spent more time doing that, not money doing that, right? I am not seeing the issue here. I am sorry, but that's not a good attitude. Logs are essential. Google became the powerhouse it is because of log analysis. And yes, I was there at the time to understand customer issue. But logs are also essential when there is an issue, and without a unit test, you don't know if that log will be okay. First, wait a minute. I think we are losing into the chain. Let's be honest, it is immediate management. But they wanted 100% code of my logs. 100% code coverage of my logs. What does this phrase means? They want, so I had to create a test to make sure my logs were even called. Okay, but why do you have a log at the place where they are not getting called? Why would you? I mean, usually you have a log where you have some important part of the code and some variable is getting changed probably, and you have a log that how this variable is getting changed. So why will you not have a logs where you have a code? I mean, isn't that how it should work? Okay, humans have put a dollar sign on the labor of other humans for centuries. Millennial, if you want to use, okay, I don't get it. Our labor is priceless, not worthless, and we lose more in trying to get exchange value out of them than volunteering for the whole team. What is he talking about? I mean, nationalize data centers. Why would anyone do that before it's too late? Why would you nationalize the data center? It makes, what is this? The more I learn about AI, the more I respect how awesome that human brain is. I have a co-worker with a friend at MS who mentioned that they were burning through Claude tokens like flash paper. I forgot the exact number he cited, but it was one that had me going, they should be curing cancer at this point, not just rebranding Xbox. It was a lot, so I am not surprised by this, man. Some dude in my org spent $125K in 1 month or on tokens. LOL. Oh my god. Some engineering managers in my org got an award for spending the most tokens. What is this, man? I mean, oh my god. What the hell is what is going on with the world? You are getting awards for spending more money and saving less money for the company. So you are making less profit for the company and you are getting an award. Lumon, the work is mysterious and important. Reality, the work consumes catastrophic amounts of resources and achieves very little less. Okay. The most Internet 1.0 feeling since the Internet 1.0. That pest.com stock puppet should buy having AI. Oh man. My coworker used $460K in 3 weeks. As a team of 6, we used $750K in those 3 weeks. This is not a brag. I hate how stupid AI has made everyone around me. What, man? Everyone's coworker are spending this much money or what? What are they making? I mean, what are they building? I mean, are they building $750K? I don't even know how is so much. Opus 4 is barely better than Sonnet 4.6. You would have to run the most expensive model 24/7 to even near 100K on multiple agents. Oh man, I don't know. That's light work. My coworkers are running TM session of Opus 4.0 around the clock. These are people who used to be smart. Artificial intelligence removed actual intelligence. Productivity gains / token used is rapidly approaching zero, assuming it isn't already there. Oh man. The tried and true ritual of people with too much time and money going all in on some stupid project that they are told repeatedly is waste of everybody's time and money. They try to make it a thing sort of succeed, then try to make it to fit into everything and vastly overestimate its usefulness. Yes, I do agree with this comment. I mean, directionally I agree with this comment. I want to get back to meeting climate goals and reversing the damage we have done to our planet. I think for the love of God, it is failure of our entire economic system that the most unfortunate and vulnerable are going to die because psychos decided to light the ladder on fire. Because I don't think so these CEOs have the responsibility to do that. I think that's why governments are there. I don't think so we should rely on CEOs to, because these are for-profit companies. They want profit. That's how this system is designed. So they are there to make money. I don't think so. And if solving problem A makes them make more money than solving problem B, even though problem B is much more important, they are going ahead and solve a problem A because that makes them more money. Even though problem B is much bigger and much important. That's how they are. It's weird, almost kind of like they have a lot of money to pay people to find this kind of issue beforehand maybe. Can't think of a better time for the Jurassic Park quote. Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they didn't stop to think if they should. Yeah, let's highlight this. Let me reread this, man. Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they didn't stop to think if they should. Okay. I think that's, let me read more. Billions spent on self-driving cars so they could make mega billions more. Yeah, some kind of arrogance. It's amazing to find out something I knew 3 years ago is finally reaching people who make 5,000 times what I make. Okay. We were required to set up Claude at work and connect it to our accounts. Just normal email, Slack, shared docs. Then select the automated prompts to start. Its first response was to tell me to get an employment lawyer. What did you ask? This is a good question. Yeah, it feels like there is a lot of context missing with your input for that to be output. I didn't ask anything. There is a setup prompt that asks it observe all our docs and email and find pattern trends. Okay, I think I can skip this part. I see the same cloud pattern here. Put all your stuff in the cloud, fire your employees and save a lot. Cloud is not cheaper if flexible, and flexibility has a cost. Cloud is a new paradigm. You need more specialized engineer and rewrite all your apps. Yes, true. Yes, you need your engineers. Now you have logged engineers and logged applications. We will squeeze you dry. Yes, true. I think yes, it feels like this. The tactics used for AI adoption are somewhat similar to the tactics used for cloud adoption using big harness, sending them. I've worked with a small group, 15 engineers, and they've used Claude selectively for certain things. Their monthly bill is 25k USD, $25,000 to do essential boilerplate and documentation, not to mention how many agents, harness or whatever to keep it from going off the rails. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, I think we are done. I think this much comment is good enough. And I think we have covered a lot of comments. And yeah, it was fun read. Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing. Thank you again. Bye everyone.